I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told ya I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'm a cup of.
Yo. Welcome to another episode of the Epic Podcast. We are back after about a month. With some same faces. Man, man, with some of the same faces, but with a new face. David will be joining us later. Ike has some things going on. So he's gonna take some more time, but he will be joining us back at some point. But I got one of my bestest friends, about 15 years with us, joining us finally today. Been trying to get him on for over a month now. We got Boom in the house with us, so shout out to Boom. And of course, man, same old Jared, solid, staying here with me, you know what I mean? We last two to walk. Uh, but yeah, man. So I'm gonna start with Jared, man. How has your break been since the Super Bowl? Jeez.
Man, been cool, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Time been flying, dog. I can't believe March is already half over. Like, it's unbelievable. But man, just just doing the same old, bro. Spending time with the fam, kicking it, same old.
All right, Boom. And since you're new to the show, man, tell the people a little bit about yourself, man.
Oh, well, I'm Boom, as they all know. Some know me as Big Steve, but Boom it is. Vernon said 15 years, man. It's more than that. We probably
It's
been locked in for maybe more like 21,
Damn,
21 years.
how you cut my guy 6 years,
I'm
dog?
trying to think.
Right. Like, he really did, but
That's
it's
I'm
all
trying
nuts.
to
good.
no, you're right. Let's see. I moved in Post
21,
Brook
22.
in
Yep.
20 yeah, 2002. So yeah.
Yep.
My bad. Dang, I cut us
It's
real
all,
short.
hey, it's all good.
It
It's
is
all
22. Yeah. Okay.
Nah, but man, I just I love sports, especially football. NBA, a little bit on NBA, but definitely in the football world. And shameless plug. Shout out to my Horseshoe Podcast people.
Shout out.
We lock in every Friday. We about to get the ball back rolling. Especially with free agency and stuff like that in the off season, draft coming up. Getting locked back in, but gotta stop through and holler at the fam and show my face and bring some of my input into it.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you being here too, man. Like I said, it's been a long time in the making. So we be trying to bring some different faces in here, some different people who can contribute, man. So we appreciate you being here. But yeah, man, we're gonna jump right into it, man. We're gonna real quick touch on the NBA, man. Just the power rankings real quick. We know this is about to be basketball season after the free agency and the draft. We got March Madness coming up, so we'll be covering all that. And we have our guys from Crossroads Sports in here giving us all the info we need to know to build these brackets this year. But we're gonna start with the NBA, man. Power rankings right now. We're gonna start backwards as we always do. 10, we got Dallas at 36 and 28. Been on a bit of a slide, man. Kyrie and Luka been doing their thing, but it just ain't been enough these past couple weeks. Um, you got Phoenix number 9 at 37 and 27. A lot of them had them as a favorite, but injuries are always gonna cut them short. Between Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, they can't get all three on keep all three on the court. So they coming in at number 9. Cleveland been on the surge here lately. They 41 and 23 at number 8. New Orleans, solid in the West, been solid all season. They at 39 and 25. You got Minnesota number 6 at 41 and 21, which they've been number 1 in the power rankings most of the year. But with Cat being hurt, I think they got to figure out how they're gonna move forward. We don't know how long he's gonna be out, so maybe end of the season could be. You got the LA Clippers at number 5, probably since that little 7 game skit with James Harden first getting there, probably been the most dominant team.
Mhm.
Probably in the NBA outside of Boston, of course. In the West, though, definitely been holding it down in the West at number 5. Milwaukee, 42-23, the best record since the All Star break. I know everybody was talking about when Doc Rivers got there, how they weren't winning and they couldn't put it together, and why they make this change in the middle of the season. They've had one of the best post All Star break records in the league. So they're at number 4 at 42-23. OKC, I would say surprise this year, but with all those talents, that draft picks, those young guys, eventually they were going to be competing. And they're holding solid at number 3 at 45-19. And then, of course, you got the two probably the favorites in the NBA to probably go to the championship. You got Boston at number 2 at 49-14, and Denver at number 1 at 44-20. Both playing good ball right now. Kind of coasting into the playoffs this last month. But yeah, man. So those are the NBA power rankings. We just didn't want to forget the NBA. We know it's a lot going on in NFL. We're about to jump into that ASAP because we got a lot to talk about. So now, how I want to do this is I wanted to keep it simple and break it down by divisions because I think that's the easiest way to talk about what's going on instead of just trying to go through the names and there's so much been happening. Just going on by kind of notable additions by division. We're gonna start in the AFC, starting the AFC East. Um, so Buffalo signed Michael Trubisky back 2 years. Deion Dawkins, offensive tackle. David Edwards, AJ Impinza, edge rusher. Daquan Jones, DT. Nicholas Morrow, linebacker. Cam Lewis at corner, and then Taylor Rapp at safety.
They've made all those signings.
Yes.
Damn, I've never even heard of a few of those
A
dudes.
couple of them, I mean, offensive linemen. I mean, of course, you're not going, if it's not like a top offensive line. You're not going to hear about
Yeah,
these guys. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or
right.
dominant DT. Some of these are probably just,
Depth pieces.
rotational depth.
Cause they let go a lot of they damn near let go of the whole starting secondary. I was like, damn.
Yeah. I didn't want to get into departures because that would have been dragged this out like very much. But I mean, yeah, they
I
lost a
would have just done
lot.
like I feel like we could have done like key departures and key
Oh,
additions.
well, that's okay. Hey,
But nah, if we can
no,
go with
it's
just
nothing. It is nothing.
because
I have them right
some
here
of
just
them
in case.
fall hand in hand. Like some key departures are hell of an additions for other teams. So
You're right. So let's talk about Buffalo Bill's departures. Quarterback Kyle Allen, running back Damian Harris, running back Latavius Murray. At wide receiver, they lost Gabe Davis, Deontay
mm,
Hartley, Trent Sherfield, O line Ryan Bates, and Mitch Moore. At edge, Leonard Floyd, Shaq Leonard. So Gabe
man,
Davis is at the Jaguars. We got Ryan Bates was traded to the Bears. Mitch Morris is at the Jaguars, and Leonard Floyd is now with the Niners. They
mm,
lost Shaq Leonard, Putafoy, Joseph, Phillips, Settle, Dawson, all defense. Dane Jackson, White, all defense. And Michael Hyde and Porter, both for their safeties, which Porter is now with the Dolphins. So those are key departures.
man,
That's a lot for a
that's a
team
lot.
who's for the Bills has been right there battling the same kind of core guys, fighting for that to get over the hump to an AFC championship.
Right.
Now most of those guys are gone. What do you think about the Bills now? I'll start with you, Jared.
Uh, I mean, that's a lot of moving parts. I don't really know much about a lot of those guys. Like you said, you know, a lot of the old linemen, if they're not top linemen, you really don't really know them. So I don't. I heard some names in there. I didn't hear too many familiar names. But I know Gabe Davis being gone is huge. Um, and like I said, some key departures turn into great additions, like that Leonard Floyd for the 49ers. I wish I could just see how they paid all these guys. Like I have no idea. Now, granted, I know they got some guys leaving too. But it's a lot of moving parts for the Bills, man. I didn't see hear anything that jumped off at me as like huge additions, but I feel like they'll still be middle of the pack. I mean, it's a lot of time left to add some guys. We still got the draft, so it's kind of a little bit too early to really say how they're gonna do based off the additions and departures, but we'll
And,
see. It's time
and
left.
don't worry, the cap just like I said, every year the salary cap go up. Went up
Yeah,
32 mil this year, so don't
damn.
worry, they have enough money to pay people.
Nah, for real.
So, what you think, Steve? Just based on the history of the Bills and how they've been playing and the disappointing playoff runs they've been having the past couple of years, did you think it was time for a shakeup?
Oh yeah, definitely. They Super Bowl window. I ain't gonna say it's closed, but with that roster last season, it kind of hit a ceiling. I mean, you got key pieces like Gabe Davis leaving, and you really don't have nobody to replace him.
Hmm.
Yeah, you still got Stephon Diggs, but you still need a solid number two, and that's what Gabe Davis was. To
Hmm.
be honest, but they still have what was that, Dawson Knox, um, and crap, it's their other tight end, their rookie. Want to
Dog.
I
say
know you.
Kincaid.
Kincaid, yeah.
Yeah. So with having those two at tight end, I think that'll kind of soften the blow. But man, yeah, they definitely in rebuild mode. It's more like a soft rebuild because they let a lot of guys go and they also was able to sign a lot of guys. But um, I really wonder how bad was Tre'Davious White because he had that ACL injury and then came back last year and was kind of silent, and then they released him this year, and you really haven't heard anybody sign him yet.
Hmm.
So I think he's going to be one of those guys where he'll probably get a 1 year deal, 1 year prove it deal somewhere else to kind of solidify his stamp on the league. But yeah, the way the AFC East is looking right now, Buffalo might want to hurry up because the Dolphins still have a lock on that right now. Patriots is definitely in rebuild,
Yep,
and
for
then the
sure.
Jets, it's kind of a toss up. So,
I think the Jets actually gonna be. Now I feel like the Jets could have been nice last season, but when your
hmm
quarterback goes down 4 plays into the season, you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
I think the Jets
And
is.
I think.
The Jets gonna be nice.
Sorry, y'all, we got David with us now. So, what's
good
up,
day.
D?
What's up, man?
We were just talking about the Buffalo Bills. They're a lot of the players that they lost, a lot of their core players they've released, and how they gonna fill these positions moving forward, possibly through the draft or late free agent signings. So,
Okay, okay.
David's Jared's brother, uh,
Okay.
Steve, David, Steve. Been knowing him 20 plus years. We've been very good friends for a long time. Been trying to get him on, and here he is, finally.
I like that Richardson jersey in the background. I like
See,
I
that.
see,
said something
I
about
like
that
to
as
Right
soon as
see
I
on.
that,
seen him
man.
pop up. Like,
Yeah, I like that.
Right on. Right on.
Hold on. Let me close my door.
So yeah, I agree with you guys.
Oh.
I just think with the Bills, like with them already struggling to get over that hump, like you said, probably a soft rebuild. It's a lot of good receivers coming out through the draft, so maybe you don't want to burn all your money in free agency and kind of see how things fall in the draft. It's the wide receiver position also has been one of the quick turnaround positions from college to pro that we've been seeing a lot of rookies step up. You know, Josh Downs and um, what's your old boy in
Tank,
Baltimore?
got
Like,
Tank.
I was say,
yeah, Tank. A lot of young receivers have been stepping up and been showing they can prove it at the next level.
there's some
So
decent receivers in this draft too. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, do you want to go out and overspend? You know what I mean, for a veteran in free agency, or do you want to kind of see how things fall in the draft? I think that could
if I
be
can get a Justin Jefferson, yes, I do want
that.
to overspend in the draft. Overspend,
I
Only
didn't
absolutely.
think
thing,
anybody
Yeah,
anybody would pick him.
but right.
I've been seeing that, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Okay.
one thing you got to understand is continuity. Also, when it comes to a lot of this stuff, man, like them letting Gabe Davis go. I mean, that's letting somebody go that you have rapport with. So now you possibly bring in a rookie, and it's really like it's a toss up. You don't know how that's going to work out. So it's kind of like, do you get more? Do you draft a rookie wide receiver early, or do you wait in the later rounds for something like maybe a project? Like let's say the kid Worthy who had that combine record.
Mm,
bring somebody like that
Texas.
in as a project, it really just depends.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So staying in the AFC East, we're just gonna do departures too, because the Dolphins also is another team that's I feel like in that same boat. Um, they lost running back Ahmed. They lost five wide receivers in Burrows, Chosen, Claypool, uh, Craycraft, and Wilson. They lost a tight end, Croft. Not like I said, not really big names up there. O lineman, Lame Wim, Hunt went to the Panthers. Connor Williams, all on the O line. Then edge rushers, they had Justin Houston, Melvin Ingram, Van Ginkel went to the Vikings, and I can't say Emmanuel. I don't want to say Ojiba. I probably messed that up. Um, all edge rushers, D lineman, Raquan Davis, Deshaun Hand, and Christian Wilkinson is with the Raiders now, of course. Linebacker Jerome Baker, Eli Apple, Justin Bethel, Deshaun Elliott, Brandon Jones is with the Broncos now, and their punter Jake Bailey. Um,
Yeah,
and also,
Raquan Davis just signed with the coach today too for on a 2-year deal.
Who's
okay,
that?
yeah, he did. Raquan Davis, the D lineman.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But and also, he's not on here for some reason, but the corner they cut
Xavier Howard.
Xavier Howard also. So they lost a lot, and they're only bringing in. Um, they haven't been real active in the free agent signing market either. So
Well, I tell you what, man. If we spend this much time on each team, we
that's
gonna
what
be.
I'm saying. Like, I mean, I was just gonna do who people sign because it's just
I
gonna
mean,
be too long.
we could probably do like most notable signings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
per
that's what I was doing. So
Yeah, because if we go team by
because
team,
that's what I'm saying. Is everybody who have been cut is just
even
gonna be
5
crazy.
minutes a team, boy. We here to talk
Exactly.
to
All night. We only
so
18 minutes in.
you want to
So
break it down by just division and
that's what I'm doing about division. So let's just do notable additions. Um so Miami they added O lineman. They got Robert Jones, tight end Janohu Smith, Aaron Brewer, Shaq Barrett, edge rusher on a 1 year deal. Jordan Brooks, Anthony Walker from Cleveland, Neek Neiman, and Jordan Poyer. So they fill some of those positions, but I still think it's not going to be enough of what they lost. I think they lost a lot, especially veteran leadership.
Mhm.
But I mean, a little stability. I don't think you're really worried about the offense too much because I mean, I feel like with the way they play, it's kind of plug and
Tyreek,
play. And
Rich
as long as
Gann,
you keep Tyreek and Waddle, you're pretty much gonna be all right.
they cool.
Mm-hmm.
New England, notable signings they brought Jacoby Brissett back. Antonio Gibson from the Washington I don't know,
Commander.
about to say Redskins, the Commanders. They re-signed Kendrick Bourne. They re-signed Hunter Henry. They add Jalen Regler from
Regular,
the
yeah.
Eagles. They got a couple old linemen. Notable on the defense, they didn't really bring in nobody notable. Um, Nobody we would know. But
Patriots getting ready to get active in the draft though.
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, they got number three. They got some top draft
Uh,
picks, so they probably gonna take a quarterback. Um, Probably with that number, what is it, number three pick, I believe.
hmm
So yeah, they probably gonna take a QB with the way that look. We're bringing in Brissett, somebody who knows the Patriot way, somebody who can kind of guide a rookie, and super solid in the locker room too. From what I've heard everywhere he's been, especially when he was here with us. New York Jets been super quiet. They got Tyrod Taylor, which I think is a great pickup.
yeah.
Um, they got John Simpson, Isaiah Oliver as a corner, and they re-signed their kicker. So, but they don't really need much. They're a pretty young team. So, um, Baltimore Ravens, of course, Derrick Henry, which is ridiculous. Imagine Derrick Henry with the Ravens. Like,
Crazy.
what? Nelson Aguilar signed him back to a 1 year deal, and then of course they re-signed Justin. I'm gonna butcher this Malabute for 75 million guaranteed, almost $100 million contract for 4 years. So They've been kind of quiet too, but didn't need much. I mean, the Ravens has been a solid organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they
Um,
lost. They lost
They
Lost
Patrick
lost.
losing
Queen.
Yeah, I
Patrick
was about to
Queen is
say they
crazy.
lost.
yeah, Patrick. Yeah, yeah.
Then they
He's a
lost
And
Steeler.
They
He's a
lost
Steeler
that,
now.
which
Yeah, they
that's
still
that's
got
nuts.
Roquan, but
Yeah, but again, like with the Ravens, they're good at finding defense in the draft. So I don't. I see them bringing in another young. Patrick Quinn was a young guy that they brought in, kind of plugged and played, and he,
That's true.
was good. So I don't see them not being able to find defense if nothing else in the draft. They not really good at finding offense, but if nothing else, they can definitely find defense in the draft. So Cincinnati Bengals signed Zach Moss to a 2-year deal. T.
Nothing.
Higgins got a franchise tag, but of course he requested a trade, which I think is crazy. Um, Mike Gillespie and Drew Sample, the tight end. Sample re-signed, and then they got Gillespie 1-year deal.
Jasicki.
Gesicki, bro, I'm horrible with names.
Yeah.
Cody Floyd, O lineman, re-signed, and then Geno Stone from the Ravens signed a 2-year, $15 million deal. So, um, again, I don't think the Bengals need a lot. That's just me. Actually, Jared, David, why am I talking about the Bengals?
Yeah.
What do you think they should do?
They need a ton. I'm I'm hearing some rumbles about them trying to bring in Justin Jefferson, which would be crazy. But I mean crazy in a good way, but being a Bengals fan, that's just not how they do business. So I'll believe it when I see it. T. Higgins should have been traded him. We're the only team that act like we can't figure out how to capitalize off talent. I mean, even if you see like what Kansas City did with Tyreek, you didn't just let him walk. You know what I'm saying? You want to leave? All right, bet I'm about to trade you for XYZ, and we just get ready running back. Like so, I feel like we should have been traded T. If you had no interest in resigning him long term, you should have flipped him and pause. You should have got rid of him and brought in something else. But we ain't really got it all up there. The way I see it now, man, our defense is still trash, but if we get Justin Jefferson, I think we'll have enough offense to be able to overpower defense. So um, we'll
Yeah,
see, but that's crazy.
absolutely. What about you, David?
Pull
Man,
that
you've
off,
been.
that's crazy.
This is an easy one for you to speak on.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, of course, living in Cincinnati now, they people are really are really butthurt because Mixon's gone. Like I said, I think Mixon should have been gone a couple years ago.
Yeah, like
But my thing is, I mean, the two people that changed the franchise was Burrow and Chase. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we got those two, everybody else is replaceable, man.
yep,
You know what I mean? Mixon. I think Mixon. He. Because see, I ain't really that afraid of Derrick Henry. It's crazy that Derrick Henry and Mixon kind of got the same type of game. They not good. They're not good outrunners.
right.
They run up the middle, but they don't cut well. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And so
they're
like
not
we
elusive
stopped
at
Derrick
all.
Henry couple years ago. I ain't really worried about him too much. I
He
think the
clowned
only thing.
against us last year, though. Like
Yeah, he did. He did.
he
Because
went
I mean, we
crazy.
lost. And
And
then, like I
usually, like
said,
I say this all the time, he's a big target. So usually we do good at kind of containing him. He went
yeah.
crazy last
But I
year. I don't know
mean,
what that was
us
about.
losing those safeties a couple years ago, Von Bell, even though they weren't the best,
Mm.
but
And Bates.
Bates, you know what I mean? I don't know how Stone's gonna do. I mean, having a Raven over on our side,
Definitely a plus.
that should help us a little bit, maybe. Because we definitely did miss we missed Jesse Bates. You could tell even just with the Chiefs game.
That defense
They
was the same defense without them
pass up
clowns,
the
bro.
middle, running up the middle because we didn't have that. We had that was a big gap for us last year. So
Nah, I disagree with that, but
you know,
I feel like our defense was identical last year. Like I don't feel like Jesse Bates did have a really good season in Atlanta for what it's worth. I mean, they
yeah,
as a collective defense team wasn't worth a damn, but I mean singly, I think he had like 3 or 4 picks in one game. Like it was something crazy like that. So he had a good season in Atlanta, but Jesse Bates can't tackle. Jesse Bates cannot tackle. He's not a sure tackler. So a lot of missed tackles. He's not really a good man defender. He get a lot of his plays off, playing the middle of the field or playing cover two. Like so,
yeah,
I don't really think we missed anything with them. Like I feel like the young guys got to step up. The Nick Scott signing was exactly what we thought it was. Like who the fuck, why the fuck, and he's out of there. You know what I'm saying? So like I call that again because like, why'd you bring him in when they said we were signing him? I'm like, who? So well, I mean, it's really the same thing with the Bengals. That's why I'm not too optimistic about this whole Justin Jefferson rumor, but we'll see. I mean, the Bengals on the social media are hinting that they got some big news that they're just waiting to break, but they're trying to finalize it. Watch it be something stupid. I'm flipping everything over.
So so boom, what you will find out being here with us that these two, Dave is a little more optimistic when it comes to the Bengals and his teams. Jared, he be on them. He be on them. So
All right.
it's you gonna get about this much optimism out of Jared
Hey,
until they win a Super Bowl, and even
I
then
feel
he's gonna
both
have
of them.
still
They
have
gonna have
something.
something to say, man. If it ain't perfect, it ain't perfect. Like
nah, I feel both of them. I'm the same way with the coach, man. I'm
Yeah.
optimistic, but at the same time, I'm like, hey,
be
get that
critical. That's
bullshit
what it's
out of
made
You
here.
got to
for.
be critical, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that where it is. Cleveland Browns, they get Jared Judy for
Man, they are
nothing.
crazy,
They got
bro.
him for a pack of Newport 100s.
Bruh.
I'm like
Menthol.
two for a 2 6 for a fifth and a six
Man.
an exchange. So like you really didn't give up nothing because you got picks in return. Like I think that's crazy.
And
Uh,
I think it was the lower round picks just because I want to say he's probably coming up on a contract year.
he is.
So, they didn't want to give up a lot and possibly not even keep him.
Especially, and you have to pick up his. I think this will be his 5th year option. Well, his the 5th year option will be next year, so you have to make a decision on that too. But still, I mean, you put Jared Judy, and now you got Jared Judy and Cooper
Elijah
with
Moore,
Elijah,
Njoku, Nick
bro.
Elijah
Chubb.
Moore, David Bill, um,
Man.
That's
yeah,
that's that's a nice looking roster in
and still
in
David
Cleveland.
Njoku,
Yeah, which
and Nick Chubb will be back.
I don't know
yeah,
if Kareem Hunt is coming back, but if they do, they got Jerome Ford still.
hmm They
Crazy.
so
they got some weapons.
Now
It's
that's a
and
just
team.
and then
People
you
be
add
like,
Zadarius Smith. Like I mean, you got Zadarius Smith. Like, bro, like they gonna be
that's a team right there. People look
they
at us and say, "Oh, y'all got so many, bro." That's a team right there.
they've
They're
done
gonna
very
be
well.
a problem. And it's like the way that the teams in our division are set up, they don't even really need a quarterback to go crazy. Like I
Mm-mm.
think the Russell Westbrook pickup for the Steelers was excellent.
You
They
mean
was
Russell Wilson?
Wilson.
Russell Wilson, my bad.
I about to
They
say,
were,
bull.
yeah, that would have been one, wouldn't it? That would have been crazy. Yo,
Wow.
but no, no, seriousness. They went 10-7 without a quarterback last year. You know, you put a if Russell Wilson can go
If he can get
throw,
you 2 more wins,
bro, if he
you're
can
you're
throw,
12-5 now.
man, if he could throw 20 touchdowns,
If he do 26-8 again and
they'll
get
be
you
20,
2 extra wins, bro,
they'll be 12-5 easily.
And that
that's
was
a very successful season.
They
And then
already got
Deshaun
a
then
Watson.
coach. They
they like I
always had a
said,
defense.
they defense. They got an old boy from from the Ravens. So
That's
it's
what I'm
just
saying. Speaking of Pittsburgh, you got Russell Wilson, Patrick Queen, which
yeah.
you throw him in the middle of a Steelers defense, bro.
Yeah,
Bruh.
that's
You
wild.
see what he was doing in Baltimore. Now
I
you
didn't
put
even
him
know he was
in a
available, bruh.
linebacker heavy Steeler defense. How they play?
Um,
Probably one of the fastest linebackers in the league too, so he can cover. And imagine blitzing him and Watt off the same side.
Hey, from
But
the way
he's
it's
gonna be a
looking,
middle linebacker. He
No,
won't.
but I'm just saying though. But they run a 3-4 most of the time. So
yeah,
imagine putting them on the same side and,
yeah.
bruh.
From the way it's looking, we have the fourth best roster in the division. I think
Oh
our
yes,
teams
yes,
are
Yeah,
leaps and
yes,
bounds better than those.
unfortunately.
yes. It is crazy to say that
With Joe Burrow,
with Chase and Joe Burrow. Like like you just think about it, like that's crazy to say.
top to bottom, and let's not throw in ownership and defense,
Yeah, yeah.
like you know what I'm saying, or ownership and coaching. But from top to bottom, offense and defense, we clearly have the fourth best roster in that division. I don't even think it's close.
And then they got Dante Jackson from the Panthers. They traded Deontay Johnson, which I don't know if you give up a weapon for a corner, but
But
Deontay Johnson
Johnson,
was having some issues, bro. He was
I mean, still, I
he
mean,
didn't fit,
he was still young.
he didn't fit the Steelers culture. But
nah,
see,
he
Probably
that's
so.
what
didn't.
That's
good
probably
teams
true too.
do. That's what good teams do. If you
He
don't
was
fit
giving
it,
them.
whether you good or not, you gotta go.
I agree
Yeah,
with that.
he was giving them some conduct detrimental type stuff last
Exactly.
year.
Yeah,
Hmm.
nah,
So yeah, he
Steelers ain't
he
going for that
definitely,
shit.
they was looking to trade him, but honestly, man, Russell Wilson to me is the dark horse biggest signing of the offseason.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yes,
I
yes.
don't
Yeah.
think people really understand that he actually just joined the best situation for his career
Oh
because
yeah.
he does. If you really look at it, he's joining the Seattle Seahawks all over again.
Yep.
You
Maybe even a
going,
better version. That's what
Yeah, a
we
slightly better version.
you got the running back room a little shaky,
Yeah,
but you know
I take
you
it
got
though. Yeah, they got
I take
Donovan.
Warren and Najee.
Yeah, that's
well
cool.
not I ain't taking Najee. I'm sorry, Najee. He's starting
But
to make
still,
a
even
run.
if you flip them and you start Warren and Najee be your backup, I would take that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah, because
Warren really showed out last year when he got his opportunities.
It's all about how you use these cats, man. Just use them right.
hmm
Use them right.
yeah, and he doesn't the offense. Russell, he started fading. His career started fading when they tried to make him a pass happy quarterback. And he's not that. He is a game manager. I don't care what nobody say. There's nothing
Ah,
wrong with being a game manager.
Oh,
It's
Steve, you're
nothing.
doing so good.
Hold
I
on. Hold on.
don't
Wait.
know
Wait.
about
Listen.
that.
Listen.
Maybe now though. Maybe
It's
now
not.
though.
It's
The
nothing
argument that
wrong
we
with
had a
being
year
a
back
game
was
manager. That's what he
All
was at
right,
in
Cam Newton, come
Seattle.
on.
That's what he was at
I feel
Seattle.
Vernon, you remember we had this conversation
Mhm.
not this past year, the year before,
Yep.
and based on his performance in his performances in Seattle, I would disagree. But I think it's safe to say that Russell Wilson is a game manager. Now, does
I
he still
was
possess the talent to be a game breaker or game changer? Or yeah, but
okay. I'd say. I mean,
The
that's
reason
all
I
Steelers
say
he's
need
top
now.
when he's. I think you. I think his situation, everybody's right to an extent. I think in Denver he had to be a game manager because they were trying to.
nah, they was trying to make him
They
pass
were
happy
trying to make him. They
If
were trying
you
to make him
want
Drew
a game
Brees.
changer,
Yeah.
But in Seattle, it was run first, play action.
yeah,
That's how they did it. And then Pittsburgh is the same way. If
exactly.
they run first, then they play action, and if it, you know what I mean, they only pass, like they're only in shotgun and have to pass the ball when they have to, like when it's in certain situations. But most of the time they're gonna run the ball and then they're gonna play action. So like you said, I agree that yes, he would probably be looked at as game man. Like you said, just with him being an older quarterback and they all styles change as they get older. He's not
But
running
even
around. But
But even when he started in Seattle, he didn't. They didn't need
they
him
didn't
to
have
win
to.
the
Right.
game because they had Marshawn back here toting the rock. Of course you had Baldwin and them guys,
Mm-hmm.
at wide receiver, but you was relying on that defense. Now,
Hmm.
once they got rid of the Legion of Boom and Marshawn left, and they added Lockett and Metcalf, that's when they started to say, okay, we need to start passing more.
You gotta
That's
let you gotta let Russ cook, man.
that's when
Now
things start going downhill
let's
for
not
him, though,
I
let's
know.
not
because
get
they
too ahead
Right.
of
was trying to
ourselves.
create
Russell
him into a
did
pass
have some
happy
numbers
He
out
quarterback.
there.
still he still has some good years, but
Yeah,
it
he.
was it wasn't conducive to winning. I'm
Oh,
talking about like when you compare it to the success I mean, when you went to back to back Super Bowls and well, not back to back, but you went
I
to
mean,
two
bro,
Super Bowls and you won one and like that type of when I mean in
he had
success.
40. He had 40 touchdowns in 2020, dog.
Yeah,
That's not game managing. I don't care.
no,
35,
Yeah,
34,
but what did
34,
what did
26,
the
20.
team do? Is the thing.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
12
that's
and 4. 12 and 4, and he threw for 40 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards, QB rating of 105.1. That's kind of not game managing. Like those are good. Those are excellent numbers.
No, I
yeah,
agree.
but I don't think they made it out the first round though.
That's yeah, that's possible.
I'm not. That's not contradicting what you're saying. Like, far as
It's
him
not.
personally, his numbers was good, but I think when you get that quarterback and you say, "Hey, this is our franchise quarterback," and we've had this early success with this recipe, and then, like you said, boom, they changed the recipe. Granted, you're still winning, but it's not, second,
It's not
third
like
round. It ain't conference championship. It's not possible Super Bowl. I think that's when, like you said, the narrative around Russell changed, and then it's like, okay, he's now the problem. We gotta get him out of here.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's
Which,
why I
like,
say
I agree. I think that's crazy. Like, I wouldn't have got rid of Russell. I'm like, hey, I got a quarterback, probably the hardest position to play in sports. He's producing. What do I got to do to help him? I got to start, like you said, reinvesting in the defense, reinvesting in the run game, reinvesting in the O line, which they never did. The O line, was terrible.
like let's be real here. You talk about how bad he was. Did he really have any weapons? Like he had Jerry Judy and Cortland Sutton. They just got rid of Jerry Judy, so obviously he wasn't a weapon. They just sold that man for some hot fries, for some
Man,
hot fries.
hey, look,
So
I'm a
you
big.
know,
I don't think you know. I'm a big college guy. Jerry Judy is nice. I don't.
I think,
I
but I
he
agree.
was
But I look at it like in a Sean Payton's offense, like you got to have somebody who can stretch the field.
fuck him. They
You got.
probably didn't even want to play for Buddy.
I'm just that's true too. But
Nobody
I'm
wanted
just
to play
thinking.
for
You look
Payton.
at what three head coaches. You know what I mean? He played for two different head coaches, two different styles. And the first, like I said, the year one, they blame it on the coach. Okay, now year two, you get a proven coach that you can't blame it on. You know what I mean? He has a proven track record. I think we all can agree that Sean Payton is a pretty decent coach, at least for the time that he was in Seattle, in New Orleans. I mean,
he
Oh
does,
yeah,
but he
yeah.
wasn't
Nah,
coming in
so
definitely
changing
not shit
you
new.
know what I mean? He kept that ship afloat for a very long time when they had some mediocre teams.
Yeah, I'm just saying fuck him based off of the shit he pulled this year. Like
Oh yeah, yeah,
I don't
no,
think that he's
absolutely,
done much of anything this year. Like I don't
no.
like how he was talking to Russ. I don't like how he tried to make him a scapegoat. Nigga,
Oh yeah,
the quarterback had 26 touchdowns and 8 picks. Like, come on, man.
Which aren't monster numbers, but you're in a
I
like you
mean,
said, you're in a
they're scary.
situation where you should be running the ball, play action, like and rely on your defense, which was a very good defense. You know
This
what I
ain't
mean?
2018. Motherfuckers ain't throwing for 50 touchdowns and 46 touchdowns no more. Like, it's a different game. So, I mean,
They
20
starting to, yeah,
is decent. And 15 games, of course, he's set the last two. That's not bad.
no, I agree, I
That's why
agree.
I think that Steelers move was good. Man, if he can go
mhm.
26-8
That's
with
what I'm saying. If he do that again and get them two more wins,
oh dog. Like
Hey,
they will fuck around and
He
get the
gonna try to go
championship.
for like 8 touchdowns against Denver this year.
Man,
You
yeah,
know
oh, it's gonna be
you know
ugly.
they play him. They play him in Denver. So that game, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's gonna be a Monday night game.
I hope he light them up.
I swear.
He gonna try. All right, let's move on, man. Let's jump into the AFC South, man. Start with the Houston Texans. They get Joe Mixon. Resign Dalton Schultz. They get Danico Autry. Hey, this is probably one of the biggest signings too. They get Hunter from the Vikings.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Uh, that's I can't believe he sat out there that long.
He
Um,
wanted a lot of money. They signed
two
him
year,
for
yeah,
49,
2 year 49, yeah.
48 guaranteed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what probably scared a lot of
That
teams.
probably, but look at his production.
I agree.
You can do stuff like that when you got your quarterback a
Well, you
rookie
got a rookie.
contract,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
especially when he's good. So you're like, okay, bet. That's another thing I think the Bengals fucked up at. Why Joe Burrow wouldn't get paid. We should have been spending tons of money on everybody else, like the
Hmm.
Rams did. They got him Super Bowl out of it. Then once you win the Super Bowl, all right, you can go. We can rebuild after that.
Yeah.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? That's Houston's in a great spot when you can have an MVP level quarterback playing on a rookie contract. That's a cheat code.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's literally a cheat code. Then you can just pay running backs, receivers, defensive guys. You can just you can pay whatever you need to pay to these other positions to get the job done because your quarterbacks
Yep.
make 2 million a season. Granted, I mean he got a signing bonus, but he ain't
Yeah.
making no real money. He's making
Absolutely.
4 or 5 or something like that. So
And I mean, it's a bunch of guys we don't really know on the defensive end. Mike Ford, Lonnie Johnson. They re-signed Desmond King. Uh, Jeff Okudua signed him. Eric Murray re-signed. It's
what's
a
your
bunch of
line?
re-signs.
He was weak. Never mind.
They had to resign. So they did some resigns. That's about it. Keeping that core, which they was a very good team last year, so they didn't have to do too much. The Colts, of course, we resigned Michael Pittman, resigned basically resigned all our people. So Taquan Lewis, Grover Stewart, Franklin, Moore, Sanchez, our punter. We just resigned our people.
The only person we didn't resign who's still out there is Julian Blackman,
Yeah,
which which
but
very
but this with the safety market being what it is, and there's so many like solid safeties available. I don't think you got to rush and resign them back.
Nah, I think honestly we're most likely leaning to a veteran signing. Um,
I would take
one name
Simmons.
that really one name that really sticks out to me, and I've been saying since they cut him, is Quadre Diggs.
Yep.
Mm.
You know, putting him at that free safety spot. Nick Cross most likely will come back next year and be that starting strong safety. But actually having a veteran on that back end with Kenny Moore, you know, up
Or
and
even
down.
in rotation.
Oh yeah, but I Julian Blackman, if they bring him back, it probably won't be nothing but maybe a 1 year deal. Um, but I still feel like they're possibly gonna go get maybe a Quadre Diggs.
Which wouldn't be, like I said, wouldn't be bad. I mean, like at this point, with there's so many safeties out there, and I mean they're good safeties too. So it's like I don't feel like for us that's anybody you go after is not gonna be like, oh man, that's just a horrible pickup unless you just pick up some no namer. Which I think on defense, that's probably been one of our biggest struggles is the safety position, as far as health
Yeah.
and finding the right fit. I would say another corner too, just to help out because we've been a lot of injuries at corner. So if we can, I
Well, you
think if
got to
we could
think.
rotate more.
Xavier Howard is probably somebody to look at corner wise. Maybe C.J. Henderson. I think he played for the Panthers last year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, maybe just them two. But I don't see nothing more than maybe a 1 or 2 year deal. I don't see nothing long term. A lot of the deals that they've been making have been like 3 year deals anyway, and I think most likely they're making they're making all these deals 3 year deals is because guys would be entering their 30th birthday type stuff, and they would still want to get another contract. But you also got to think AR's contract would be coming up around that same time too. So they want to make sure that they free up a lot of money to make sure that they get him signed, which I'm pretty sure they will. And a lot of these guys probably won't be coming back per se, but um, you know, it's still to see.
And
Uh,
when you look at the safety position, just throughout the league, they're like the running backs of the NFL. Like you don't really see safeties getting a ton of money nowadays. Like you just
no,
don't because you can throw corners back there. You know what I mean? Like it's not as special of a position, I believe, as it used to be when you could hit the way you want to, and you know what I mean. Like people going across the middle, like it was a different time in NFL. So you was getting those guys, so like the Charles Woodsons and stuff, like they were getting big money. But now it's kind of like a
I want to
uh,
say Jamal
finesse
Adams,
position.
Jamal Adams and Derwin James are probably the last two safeties to get like real big money.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
the next person who will probably get some big money is Kyle Hamilton. He'll
Oh
probably be
yeah,
that
he's
next
Yeah.
big
nice.
safety to get some big
And
money.
Or unless they start, they get a safety in there who can do a bunch of things. I mean, I think that's the key to getting paid now, especially for those positions outside of running. A quarterback. If you can come in and you can cover like a corner, you can tackle like a linebacker, and you still got the speed to play safety. That might change a lot of things. And I think Cal Hamilton is that next guy. I mean, you can
mhm.
bring him up in the box. You can have him back in coverage. He can guard your tight end. He can be in the middle of the field. He can just do a lot of different things. I think that's going to be the key to safeties getting paid. I mean, that's how you got to make it, or you're going to be signing $3.5 million 1 year contracts the rest of your career.
Yeah. Nah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Um, Jacksonville. Um, I don't know. Like they were supposed to be better. I think, but I mean,
They
this
brought
year,
in a receiver. Who they bring in?
Gabe Davis. It was just Gabe
Okay, yeah,
Davis.
Gabe Davis. Yeah.
They got Mac Jones from New Orleans, New England for a little bit of nothing to back up Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was banged up a little bit last year, so I
Hmm.
can understand them not being the same team as last year, the year
Who's going to be
before.
our backup though with Garner Minshew gone?
That's another question that we're still trying to figure out.
Okay, figure that shit out.
They get Mitch
But
Morse
Hey,
from the
y'all got a
from
backup?
the Bills. Nah, not at this point.
shit,
Not right
not
now.
now.
I mean, we got what's call it? Oh boy. But he was trash.
I'd have damn near kept
Who?
Nah, but y'all couldn't have paid that money that he got.
Yeah, from the Raiders.
But it would have been nice to keep him around.
Yeah. Darnell Savage, bring him in. They brought in some offensive linemen. Um, Cleveland and Mitch Morris. So they shored up their O line and, like I said, kept Josh Allen's franchise tag, which I'm sure they'll get a deal done. He's too valuable not to get a deal done with. And then they bring in Darnell Savage. So
The real
that
Josh
too.
Allen.
You said what? The real Josh Allen. Tennessee, super quiet. They signed Tony Pollard. I think that's probably the biggest name. And they
It's
grab a
Cheeto
Woosie.
from us.
Yeah,
A Woozy,
yeah.
yeah.
I think
Woozy,
that's yeah, Woosie. Yeah, I think that's about it. Everybody else is.
bye. Bye bye.
I think that's about it. Everybody else is
Ass nigga.
really no names. AFC West, Denver. They haven't really done anything
Nah.
at all. They re-signed their kicker. Nobody else is really notable.
It's crazy.
PJ Locke, Brandon Jones. They bring in two safeties, Malcolm Roach, a defensive lineman, and a fullback for some reason. Um,
Moving right along.
yeah, Kansas City. I think their biggest resign. I mean, Chris Jones, of course.
Oh,
Uh, Ridiculous amount of money. They,
I'm
of
really
course,
interested to see what happens with Legarius. No, Legarius Need though.
yeah, they franchise tagged him, but I think you gotta find a way to bring him back because that corner duo with him and tip of my tongue,
McDuffie.
McDuffie. They like that tandem won them a
They
Super Bowl.
young too,
They
bro.
won them a Super Bowl. Like being able to have two guys that can cover pretty much
Young
anybody,
too, bro.
pretty much that won them a Super Bowl. So
But
I
when you
think you got
paying
to figure that out.
Kessie and paying all these other guys, I got to see I know Pacheco's. That's the thing with getting drafted in the late rounds, and then you snap, you get to that money quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Pacheco probably only had maybe a 2-year contract, so he's gonna get re-upped way sooner than the first rounder that got to play out 4, possibly 5 years. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that
So
like I said, this you speaking that because like I said, they trying to restructure Mahomes'
he
contract.
did. I just saw it come
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Put up
Which
21. That's cheating though. I don't understand that.
but I think, but see, with the way the franchise, I mean, not the franchise, the way the salary cap is set up is that with it keep increasing, you got all like I was saying, with all these TV deals and all this money coming into the NFL, new money streaming, all this stuff, bro. They could just kick the can down the road.
That's what they're doing, but it's just like I feel like why have a salary cap if you allow teams to just manipulate it? So
That's
you got
sports
the best quarterback possibly ever. I mean, it's arguable at this point. Patrick Mahomes is arguably
on
one of the
pace.
best
If he's still on
quarterbacks.
this pace, to be yes,
Right.
yes,
I mean, I feel like even if his career ended now, I mean, he's done more than a lot, but that's
yeah.
neither here nor there. But to be able to sign him to $1 billion, I know that's not the number, but to whatever, but then just keep restructuring his contract so it's not hitting against the cap. Like, bro, I mean, why just throw the cap out the window if you're just gonna allow? And then there's only certain teams can do stuff like that. So it's just like, just get
But
rid of the
it's
cap.
but it's also I think with your front I think that's you got to think away how front offices be working though. Like the Rams, like they're one of them teams. They like look, we willing to do whatever to
They
win.
sold out for that
They
championship.
like they said forget the salary cap, like
Rightfully
forget the
so.
picks. I don't care. Give me proven players now that I
And
know can come in here and play and compete, and they got a Super Bowl out of it. So
they got what?
I think Kansas City in that same mind frame, like, hey, look, we got a big name quarterback. We got dudes on defense we got to pay. Hey, look, we're going to sprinkle in, cheap, effective offensive players. We're going to let our quarterback be special. We're going to let our tight end be special, and we'll figure everything else out. And whatever we got to do to kick the can down the road, if at some point we got to pay Patrick Mahomes 100 million, 1 year, whatever we'll do at the end of his career, whatever that'll be,
Yeah.
cool. We still got baseball teams paying Kieran Griffey Jr. We still got AI getting paid from, 10, 20, 15 years, So teams are willing and companies are willing to kick this can down the field and
Yeah.
just deal with it when the team is no longer competitive. And to say, okay, cool, we in salary cap hell, we don't care. We'll stay young, we'll lose, we'll get a number one pick, and then we'll do it again at some point in 20 years.
Yeah.
So,
I
That's
mean, you
but
got
awful.
when
to
the
think
cap
about
is jumping up 30, 20 to 30 million every year,
it.
it's working.
That's
But you
facts.
got to also think they really don't have no high priced players on that
Mm-hmm.
team outside of Patrick Mahomes and now Chris Jones. I mean, you got to
Kelsey
look at
And
don't even
Kelsey,
really make
yeah,
the mix.
Kelsey don't, yeah,
yeah,
Kelsey.
Kelsey
I think
too.
he's like
But
the fifth highest paid tight end. But I mean, to be fifth,
Yeah.
that's still
Clearly, he might be one of the best. No, he's definitely one of the best all time. He might be the best all time. Like, so yeah,
yeah,
that's a
but they
bargain.
they ain't got too much money tied up in other places, so they able to kind of
No,
finagle that salary cap a little bit.
they say Isaiah Pacheco run like he eat people or bite people.
Oh
Like,
God,
he
he
is
run like
hard though.
he
is.
run like a Tyler who got something in his hand he ain't supposed to.
Oh, God.
You
Hey,
know what?
yo, it's so funny, man. I laugh every single time.
When
But
you when I first seen him run, bro, the first name that came to my head was Natron Means. I don't know if nobody remember Natron and how he used
Yeah,
to run. That man was like one of the biggest, angriest runners ever, bro. But like that's who I see, like that same upper, like he run with his head up and he just like, I don't care.
out of
Like
here.
I'm never gonna stop. You gotta stop me from moving. I'm never gonna stop running.
What is
So
he? A
yeah,
sixth, seventh round pick, something like
man.
that.
Yeah, I think he was in sixth round, but that's crazy. Moving right along.
Hey,
We got the Las Vegas Raiders. Of course, they get Gardner Minshew and Christian Wilkinson. Those are their big signings. Nothing crazy right now, but they got a lot of work to do. Um, Chargers, Gus Edwards. I mean, to replace um, just Eckler. And I really think that's it. They got Will Dissy, which I don't know who he is, but it's a tight end. That's really it. Um, NFC, to jump into the NFC, Dallas has done nothing.
nothing.
Literally, there's nobody there.
Mm-mm.
The Giants get Drew Lock,
And
solid veteran to back up. To back up, oh boy, you get Devin Singletary from the Texans. I think that's a good pickup at running back, which is no Saquon Barkley, but he's a young guy who can probably get the job done. Isaiah McKenzie, he was from. We had him last year, fast. I mean, that's decent. Brian Burns, though, I think that's really what we need to talk about from the Panthers. Now, you talking about a dumb organization? I want to talk about the Panthers real quick, just real quick. So last year, the Rams offered them 2 first rounds for Burns, and they said no. But then this year, you give him up for a second and a fifth,
these teams are
they
stupid, man.
they had to take that second and the fifth because of his contract.
bruh. You could have got 2 firsts last
No,
year.
I agree. Hey, I agree. To be honest, you knew you
If you
wasn't
knew
going.
you weren't gonna pay him the money, you could have paid him last year, and you didn't.
And then they gave up. You gotta remember they gave up a lot to get Bryce Young too. So they
Bro,
probably was like, "Hey, I got to get some picks after this, like, because he might be a bust." Like, I mean, I didn't see anything that was encouraging from Bryce Young this year. So
Well, I mean, I'm gonna give him a mulligan just based off of he had not nothing of a weapon nor a
yeah,
O line,
I got to see some
and
flashes though.
he had Frank Wright as his damn head coach, and you
Yeah,
see
that's
he got
crazy.
fired what 6 7 games into the season.
That
So
boy
I
gonna
mean,
have
it
another
was just a
job here
lot.
soon.
It was definitely a lot, but yeah, I give him 2 more years before
I'm
I say.
definitely giving him
"Mm,
time for sure. I'm not.
especially with the organization who constantly fires coaches, constantly changing personnel. You're not giving this young guy time enough to learn nothing. There's no consistency about him. There's no number one receiver. There's
mhm."
no solid running game. Like there's nothing there. Like you said, the O line play was, you can't even say mediocre. Like horrible. The bright spot was the defense, but the defense is leaving. Everybody's leaving. You know what I mean? And that's a test to ownership and just not wanting to be in the building no more. I think. You know what I mean? I think Bryce Burns probably on the back end was like, "Look, I don't want to be here. So y'all could take whatever the best deal is. Take it. I don't want to be here."
Nah, he knew. I mean, to be honest, you
If it was just
what was
hypothetical,
you? Why not keep him? You know, if you want to actually build your team, why
they
not
had the
keep?
number 4 defense in the league last year.
Who, the Panthers?
Yes, their defense was wonderful. Granted, they was on the field a lot, but they played good.
Hmm.
Like you just let them go. You let your corners go. You let your best defensive player. Like what are we doing? Anyway, moving on to the Eagles. Saquon Barkley. Did y'all hear the hate speech behind that? How Tiki Barber was talking about.
Yeah. You know,
Oh, he
everybody's
flashed
doing
for
that.
That
that.
though. Everybody's doing that though.
So what Tiki Barber did, Lamar Jackson trolled him and said, "Geno Stone, you're dead too."
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. Look, you didn't want to pay him. If you first off, you Tiki Barber, you got a great relationship with the Giants. Why don't you go speak on his behalf?
You're right.
Why don't you talk the value to the team and get them to paying?
The organization wasn't loyal to Saquon. That's all.
Exactly. Y'all at the end of the day, y'all quick to say it's a business when players leave or y'all get rid of players or whatever. But then when players make a decision to sign, I'm gonna sign wherever hey, Eagles won't pay me. By all means, I love to stay here, but they want to pay me. Would you like to? I'm
Right.
sure you got a chance to counter. Y'all want to pay him. In a
Same thing.
3 year, 37 million, that's 10 million a year. You talking about y'all couldn't shake out 10 million
They
for
could have.
Saquon?
They
Your
could have.
best player? Get out of here, bro. That's crazy. Like we said, teams do salary cap acrobatics all day, bro. You tell me you couldn't shake out 30 mil for him? Yeah,
Your best player on offense.
that's what I'm saying. Landon Dickerson, O lineman. You give him an $84 million extension with 50 million guaranteed, but you don't give your running back anything. Bryce Huff. That's probably one of the best signings they got. Brendan Graham resigns. Uh, Gardner Johnson Jr. He signs a 3 year deal. That's some, like teams got money. Like the Eagles, look at who they have. Look at who they have, and You tell me you can't pay these players? Like I said, like if you want to win, you want to be competitive. You need to pay. You got to pay to play. Um,
And
that's pretty
you gotta
pretty
also
much what
think
they
the
do.
Eagles defense doesn't really have nobody high priced over there.
Mm-mm.
You know, they none of their ends are high priced. The corners, I think, who maybe Darius
So,
Slade,
and still,
but
he's not high priced
he's
because he's
towards,
older.
yeah, I about to say, but he's towards the end of his deal, low key, and he signed that some years ago. Safeties, I mean, they just signed Gardner Johnson, so you know, but outside of that, I mean, they really don't have nobody high priced over there. All their high priced people is on offense.
Yeah,
So, you know, they can make that Saquon Barkley move. But, you know,
but
it's
look at
still
the Giants. Who are they high priced players? Nobody.
I
You
did
got a
Jones.
$40 million
Jones and
quarterback, but
Burns now.
still,
Yeah, Jones and Burns now.
yeah. But still, bro, I know you can shake out 30 mil. Like, I know you can. Over 3 years, make it incentives, like make it a sign about you could do something, man. I'm done with that. I'm done. Washington Commanders, they get Mariota, they get Austin Eckler. That's probably their best signing.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Ertz to solidify that tight end position where they've been struggling. A couple offensive linemen. Like I said, nobody
Special.
special at all. NFC North, you got the Bears. They get DeAndre Swift. I think the Bears is probably going to be really good this year.
That's if
We
they
get
keep Justin Fields.
if they. I don't know. You go either way. I mean, you're going to be in the same position. I feel
And
like.
I hope they
Nah,
do keep them now because if they didn't, they kind of screwing them because Atlanta done got their quarterback. Um,
they messed up his trade value real bad.
the Steelers got their quarterback. I mean, it's only a few places that need a
Only
quarterback.
place he could really go, you could really talk right now is Minnesota, probably.
Yeah,
And you know they not trading him there. That's division rival.
Do
I
you
think
want to
they
see him
probably
twice a year, angry?
they probably do. They probably like hell yeah, we want we want to see him twice a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Either there or
Denver.
Denver. Yeah, Denver. Yeah, that's probably really it. Nowhere else really needs a quarterback of that caliber unless he's willing to sit behind somebody.
Nah, man, he don't deserve that, man. He
No,
been
I agree.
he been winning them a lot of games. Honestly, to me, man, just stay at number one and draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, just get you a weapon, or even if you trade down 2 or 3 picks to somebody like I don't know, somebody who really wants to like a Washington. They want to move up 2 spots. You know how many picks you can probably get from Washington to
Well,
to move
Washington
down.
is number two.
Number two.
If
Oh, they
they
are number two. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah. So probably, yeah, you have to move down to somebody else, but you could probably flip that one. Probably still get Marvin Harrison Jr. if you jump behind the teams that want quarterbacks. Let somebody jump the one to get the guy they really, really want and move on.
if they trade it, I don't see a trade being done until maybe
Draft day.
if they don't have nothing
man,
by
Oh, you
the
talking
night
about four
before.
fields?
Yeah, if
they
they
Okay.
don't
probably got
have
to do
nothing,
something
if they
before
don't have
then, man.
nothing by the night before draft day, he's staying put.
Yeah. And I
Man, I
mean, you
don't
get you
know.
get uh you get Gerald Everett at tight end. You get your best cornerback. You get Kevin Bauer from the Eagles, good corner. I mean, good safety. Jonathan Owens, you get another safety. So you mean they're showing up their defense? They're showing they're going to be the old Bears. We're going to run. We're going to play good defense. You already got Sweat, which showed that he's going to be a huge piece for them. And again, you just run. I'll say run and gun. Uh, like you said, I say just get him some more weapons. Like you said, get Marvin Harrison Jr. If you could possibly trade back and somebody want to jump up to one, and you could probably get another first round in a couple seconds. Like you said, it's a lot of receivers out here. Load him up with weapons and see what shakes out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, pretty much.
Detroit Lions. Uh, yeah, I don't really see Carlton Davis. They got from the Bucks. That's probably that's probably it. Outside of re-signing, I mean they got Marcus Davenport on a 1 year deal, but that's yeah. Nobody else. Emmanuel Mosley resigns, but they haven't really made no moves, which they don't need a lot. You can tell the teams that's just been competitive and don't really need a lot. They're just
Mm,
filling holes. Green Bay Packers, they get Josh Jacobs, which
huge.
huge. And everything else is a resign outside of Xavier McKinley too. No, he been with them. Never mind. Sorry, wrong person. But yeah, you resign him, you get a 4 year deal, and you get Josh Jacobs. I think that's big. I didn't. Again, they don't need a lot. They re-signed Nixon, they that corner, that returner who was real good for them on special teams. You get him a
Mm-hmm.
3 year deal, but uh, again, competitive team, been quiet. The Vikings, they get Sam Darnold, they get Aaron Jones, which I think is a good pickup. Andrew Van Ginkel signs a 2 year contract with him, and that's really it. But do y'all see Sam Darnold as a starter? Do you think that fixes
No,
their QB
hell no,
He's more of a bridge
bridge?
quarterback at first.
hell no.
At most, he's a bridge.
He's probably yeah, I can see that. He's probably like a well, we'll just sign him just in case we don't get our quarterback this year. We'll just but yeah, no, he's not the future. There's no way
Okay.
unless he pulls a Baker Mayfield or some shit and just goes crazy next year, and they might re up
But
him.
in that offense, you got to see they've had a bunch of different quarterbacks in that offense, and they all produce. It didn't really was conducive to winning, but they all put up a lot of big numbers. So maybe it's an easy offense to learn, and maybe that's what Sam Darnold needs is something dumbed down and super simple for him to execute. Especially if you keep Justin Jefferson and you keep your weapons. Uh, it's not really hard to throw the ball up to Justin Jefferson. I mean, his catch radius is is astronomical. So you ain't got to be the most accurate guy. Um, Jump into the NFC South. We got the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, Kirk Cousins. Um,
Mad finesse.
Bro, but he been finesse. Actually, I'm glad we're here. I want to tell y'all.
I'm
I want
glad we here.
because I seen something that was super interesting that I knew, and I just found the numbers on it, and I was like, this man's been finessing for a very long time. So this is Kirk Cousins since his rookie season, 2012 to 2015. On his rookie contract, he only made 2.5 mil. In 2016, he got franchise tag for 20 million. In 2017, he got franchise tag again for 23 million or 24 million. When he went to the Minnesota Vikings, he got 84 million fully guaranteed. Nobody knew that. And he's his own agent.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2020 to 2022, he made 66 million fully guaranteed. And then 2022 to 2023, he made 35 million fully guaranteed. Now he just went to the Falcons and got 150 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
That's Kirk Cousins.
Get your money, young
and the,
man or
and the
old
thing
man.
about it is
Go
he's getting
ahead.
he's getting 90 million between this up and coming season and next season. Like
Ridiculous.
Wow.
And now
that.
you just surrounded him with a bunch of young cats, a bunch of hungry young cats. Like you got good running game. You got a good tight end. You got all the same things he pretty much had in Minnesota outside of a Justin Jefferson. But I mean, London is no slouch. You know what I mean? And you grab one more weapon somewhere, you still got a Calvin Ridley. Imagine bringing a Calvin Ridley back and putting that opposite side. You know what I mean? Like that's to me is just ridiculous. And then they had a solid defense. Um, Bad thing about them is they were just on the field too much. But that's really it. They get Darnell Mooney on a 3-year deal, but that's really it outside of Kirk Cousins. There, of course, we talked about the Panthers. There's nothing mentioned on here outside of the trade with the Steelers, but and O lineman they give O lineman $100 million deal, but again. We all just talked about what they need. The Saints hasn't done anything outside of Tyrann Mathieu. He signed a new 2-year deal, super cheap deal, full of incentives. Tampa Bay, of course, they get Baker Mayfield signed back. They get Mike Evans signed back. They signed Levante David back on a 1-year deal. They give Winfield the franchise tag, and that's really about it with them. NFC West has been super quiet. The Cardinals have done nothing outside of signing Murphy Bunting. Uh, Everything else is just re-signs and nobody really important. The Rams have done nothing. Super quiet outside DeMarcus Robinson, but that's a re-sign. Niners getting Leonard Floyd. They got George Odom as safety, but nobody really. They get Brandon Allen as a QB, but that's just re-sign. I mean, nothing. And then Seattle re-signs Noah Flint and Williams. They cut a lot of people, so um, everything's really been cracking. It feels like in the AFC. The NFC's been kind of quiet. It looks like so.
Of
I was gonna
course.
go into. I had some other stuff to talk about, but I mean, still free agency stuff. Who's left? We can dive through this real quick. The top guys left from Tyron Smith to Ridley, Fuller.
Wait, Calvin Ridley's a free agent?
Mhm.
Yes, I
Damn, I
don't.
thought
I
they
don't
was
know
gonna
why
get
he's still sitting there,
Gabe
but
Davis to match up with him. That's crazy.
that's bro. He's still sitting there. Like I just think that's
He
crazy
and he wants to go. I think I heard he wants to go back to Jacksonville, but I don't think they go have that type of
to
money to
put
pay
that
him.
money out. Like
They still got to pay Josh Allen,
yeah.
so they trying to penny pinch right now to come up with the type of contract that he wants because he wants.
And wait a minute, has no Lawrence already got his deal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, nah.
No,
Did he?
Lawrence ain't got nope.
Oh, so you got
He's
you
coming
kind of
up. He's
yeah.
coming up. Him and I want to.
Yeah,
Did
that's
both of them
right.
get drafted the
Because
same year?
he was a year
Yeah,
after Burrow, right? He was a
yeah. He was a
2021. So
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, this year coming up. Yeah. So yeah, you probably don't want to.
Yeah, you got to pay
Yeah.
him and Josh Allen.
Yeah, you gonna kill the cap with that.
Yeah,
Um.
so
So yeah, Tyron Smith, Calvin Ridley, Kendall Fuller, Marquise Brown is still out there, receiver. Stephon Gilmore is a little older, but he held it down in Dallas while Diggs was out. You got Chase Young, he's only 25, still developing. You got a lot of injuries, but I mean, what you could get out of him. Armstead out there, Cameron Curl, Javanian Clowney, which he's every year he's out there. Again, Julian Blackman safeties, Justin Simmons. You said what?
I just laughed. He was like, every year he's out there.
Bro, is he not? Am I tripping? I just feel like he gets a bunch of 1 year, 2 year deals, and he's always out there and available until like the very end of the draft or right before training camp or something. Like
he actually
somebody
didn't
picks
even
him up.
play that bad last year either. I
No,
wish he.
but again, with the Ravens, what you don't have to do a lot because the defense is just very solid.
Very true.
Um, Again, Blackman, Justin Simmons out there, Curtis Samuel. He's only 28, good receiver. He played good for Washington. You
Ohio
got
State boy.
Trent. You got Trent Brown out there, DJ Reader. Uh, I know you're gonna say something about this. Jonah Williams. He's young though, 26. But
He might not play again.
and last but not least, I mean Calais Campbell. He's 38, but I mean
If he goes somewhere, it's on a 1 year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, 1 year. If you just need, like you said, a rotational guy, which he was in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Um,
the biggest name on there, to be honest with you, is Eric Armstead.
I'm surprised he's still out there too, especially with all these DTs getting a lot of money.
Hmm.
Um,
I don't know if he's going to return back to San Francisco just based off of the fact that he didn't get the contract or the contract extension that he wanted. So I can
but
see him going somewhere else on a 1 year deal, probably.
but when you look at the Niners though, you look at who they. I mean, eventually it's gonna catch up. You got Brock Purdy in your peripheral. You got to keep some money set aside for that. But then when you got Bosa, Warner, the safety, I forgot his last name. He was hurt this year, but you know what I mean. You paying these guys, and then Debo, you gonna have to pay Ayuk.
Now,
You're
Debo
gonna,
and
you know what I
McCaffrey.
mean. And that's what I'm saying. Like you got a lot of money to you got a lot of money, a lot of big money to spread out. So
Hmm.
um, then some of these guys are like in the top at their position. So with him being a good DT, where you could probably draft a DT to fill that spot, I don't see that being a big, not a big resign. He can go somewhere else and, like you said, possibly get his money.
And they still got Hargrave at
Yeah,
DT too.
yeah,
So
that's right. They signed. Yeah, so I think they okay. Um, but again, I mean Chase Young, somebody again like a young guy who's still developing, who you could probably get some production out of. Wasn't quite productive for the Niners last year, but I mean, I think he's still a threat if you put him opposite of somebody that's really
For
good.
sure. For sure.
Um, like I said, Kevin really just sitting out there. Like he must really want to go back to the Jacksonville Jaguars because everybody can use a Calvin Ridley. He showed out. He really showed out last year. And I just think back to the Colts game against us. Like he killed us. Killed us. Like I think he had 3 against us.
yeah,
3
I mean,
TDs the first game. So
he was definitely balling, but it's like he ain't. I don't see him going back to Jacksonville because I don't see them
he
getting.
won't. You got to give him 30 million. I
Who,
think he's a
Calvin Ridley?
30 million a year receiver. I think he showed
Dude,
that last year.
not 30
Who
million a year.
put him up
30
against another?
Calvin Ridley for 30 million a year.
Put his numbers up against another $30 million receiver.
So you saying he's a top 5 wide receiver?
I think last year he was.
No, maybe against us. No,
Look
Yeah,
his look at his
I
numbers,
say.
and we'll talk about this next week.
he's not a top
Oh
five
shit, let's
wide
pull him up.
receiver. Hell,
Well, look, okay,
okay. So let's okay. Hold on.
yeah,
Devontae Adams,
hmm
Jefferson,
okay,
Chase.
okay. Who else you got? That's
McCollum.
3. Okay,
That's 4.
okay.
Who else? So you saying? Matter of
Come
fact,
on,
you saying he better than
you
CD
need one.
Lamb?
Come on.
That's
I put him
5.
right. I put
That's
them right.
5.
I will put him in that conversation with all 5 of them.
Bro, he had 76 catches, just barely over 1,000 yards and 8 TDs.
For Jackson, with nobody around him.
Who's not? Who's nobody?
That should mean you should have more, bro.
No,
Who's
I'm just saying. I'm
nobody?
just
You had Trevor.
name the number 2 receiver on Jacksonville.
That means you
Christian
should have more
Kirk.
numbers. That's speaking
And
of
look
that.
at him.
Oh,
Wait a minute. And look at his numbers for what they paid for Christian Kirk.
but still,
Shit, that's
and you
another
still
guy
got
he had
Travis
around him.
Etienne.
Watch this year.
Calvin Ridley is not up
Watch.
there with Devontae Adams.
Okay.
He's not
Okay.
even top 10.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So what did we just pay Michael Pittman?
Now that was crazy, but
No. What did we just
No,
pay Michael Pittman?
no, Pittman deserved that. Pittman deserved that.
So put Pittman numbers up against Ridley.
Hold on, put who Pittman quarterbacks was.
Oh, what? We ain't talking about that. We talking about receiver.
Oh, we are. So you saying Calvin really will be able to put up them same type of numbers with the same type of quarterbacks?
Was he not balling in Atlanta with who?
Matt Ryan. Then he wanted to sit there and
No,
gamble.
now wait. So you okay with Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan when he was in Atlanta,
yeah,
not when he was with Indianapolis.
Okay. Okay.
This man said Calvin Ridley is a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah,
I
nah,
want to
bro.
sell
I ain't running
whatever
with
you
that.
smoking right now.
Okay. Watch. If he doesn't end up back in Jacksonville, watch what happens. Even
Yeah,
if
nah.
he does,
If
I
he's
don't
a
think he
top
gets a
five wide
$100 million
receiver, why is he
contract
still on
though,
the
bro.
market?
because he want that money.
I don't think he's gonna get it. Not the money you talking about.
He's definitely not getting 30
I'm just
million.
look at it. I look at if Pittman get it for pretty much the same numbers with less touchdowns.
Pittman didn't get 100 million, bro.
No, I'm not talking about 100 million. I'm talking
He
about
didn't get
this.
30 million.
He got 70. He got 75 million for 3 years.
71.
71 with incentives. Okay, so you're saying Calvin Ridley's not worth that?
Hell
I
no.
I personally think the Colts overpaid for Michael Pittman, but that's not really my argument.
He deserved that just based off of
One season.
he's getting no. He's
My boy,
been he's
my boy
been
had four
getting 90
TDs
plus
last year. Like,
catches for the past 3 or 4 years. What you talking about? And you got to think who his quarterbacks have been. Nick Foles,
he's
Carson
scared of
Wentz,
everyone.
um, Jacoby Brissett, fucking Matt Ryan, Gardner Minshew, Sam Ellinger.
Which is still on the
He's getting
roster.
90
That's our
plus
current
catches.
backup.
And he's getting 90 plus catches.
Who else did you have to throw it to? We were gonna say that.
Now we're gonna say who else did you have to throw it to?
I said the
It
same.
didn't
I said the
matter.
same thing with
It
Ridley.
didn't matter. Well, why if Ridley is that type of dude, why is he still on the market?
He's still on the market because people don't want to pay that money this early when there's a lot of receivers coming up in the draft.
No,
The same
no,
thing I
they
was
want
saying.
to pay that type of money this early.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Watch what he do. Watch what he do this year.
And the
I
second,
guarantee you have a better year.
A
gentlemen,
better year. Okay,
if,
on a
if he get
1 year
picked
deal
up,
with who?
I'm just saying, wherever it don't. I ain't even going. I'm not even gonna put a stipulation on it. Wherever he goes,
I'm about to post this on Facebook. He's so
post it. Post it.
see.
We gonna get in the fall. I guess we just had final thoughts.
nah, I got one. I got
Uh,
one. Defund whoever made that Kobe statue with all them errors on it. That shit.
oh man,
That's the
I can't
dumbest
believe I didn't say.
shit.
Oh man, yeah.
No,
No
so
man, that's
that
crazy.
nigga
Yeah,
just
I
And
read
I
misspelled.
that.
didn't. Nobody noticed it.
Hey, hold on. So
Whoever this nigga was misspelled decisions, and it's right under decision. Like two of the guys they had, coaches did not play coach's decision, and they had it spelled right the first time, and then like they butchered it on. I'm like, bro, the correct spelling is right above it, like
It's on the
Yeah,
statue.
on the statue, bro.
on the statue, like because what they did is they put the box.
Players names, like yeah, they
Yeah,
put like some stats to like the box score.
they put spell Jose Calderon's name wrong. They spelled Von Wafer's name wrong. They spelled decision wrong, and I think it was one other.
It
That's
was, bro,
ridiculous.
for a Kobe statue. They're
Yeah,
supposed to be representing him when he scored 81.
defund that nigga, whoever the fuck he is.
His the greatest day of probably Kobe's career. This is
It's
this
nuts.
is the statue you mess up.
Yeah, he
Wow.
out of
So
here.
nobody proofreads stuff these days.
Nah, apparently not. Apparently
And
not.
for people were saying it wasn't like that great of a statue. Like people that wasn't really
I
rocking
don't
with
think
it
it's
anyway.
statue.
Compared to you look at like a Jordan statue or like
Or that
these
shit.
other yeah, like you look at these other great players, the D Wade that like you look at these other statues, like you
Jordan might
like
have the best statue ever though. Like that shit's hard.
who's
yeah,
that?
Jordan,
Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
this shit's hard. It
Yeah, so
actually fucking looks like him. Like
and you gotta think this was made a while ago. Like that Jordan statue is
yeah,
old as dirt.
yeah. You know what I mean? Kobe's statue looked like his name is spelled COLBY or something.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. I
Kobe.
agree. I agree. I have to agree with that final statement.
Wow.
That's definitely qualifies for a defund. Oh yeah, Jared's a professional defunder. He's quick to defund something.
Yeah, I'll get somebody out of here real quick. Real quick.
Any final thoughts, David? Man,
uh Man. Well, uh, the Sixers, man, they look pretty bad right now. Getting 30
Hey,
ball by the Knicks. So.
damn, they getting beat by 30. I was watching this
What?
Pacers game. I need to
Yeah.
turn it back. That's nuts.
So, uh,
but this is with no Embiid though, right?
Yeah, they
no,
need
no
them back
Embiid. That's what I'm saying.
exponentially.
It's kind kind of tough right now, man, for them, man.
Dang, that is horrible.
So
And just to think that didn't the Pistons and the Knicks have a 79-73 game the other night?
yeah, they did. That I mean, that dude. I mean, it was terrible.
Wow.
I think it was like
They had a '90s game. That's a
20.
'90s
It was like
score.
he
On
shot 28,
everything.
29
That's a
percent.
1993 score, boy.
I'm glad it was though.
Man, okay, bring it back then. Bring it back. They throw it into the post. Who's posting up? Man,
He
that's
said that's
crazy,
the old basketball that.
bruh. And that's high scoring. That's considered
At 10, hell yeah.
Oh shit!
20 points a quarter was considered high scoring back then. And now teams are putting up 80 in the first half.
Right.
Crazy.
80. Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, man. We've this is our first episode back, so I knew it was gonna be a little longer. Especially with everything going on in free agency, man. I just appreciate y'all being here, man. Thanks for joining us. Boom. We'll have you on as much as possible in the future.
Sure.
Prayers to our guy, man. That's Norman Isaac, man. We just hope.
Yeah, man. Ike and Justin too, man. We didn't forget about Justin too.
Yeah.
Hopefully life calm down for them too when we can get everybody on, man. Have just like this mega show, man, where it's like 5, 6 of us, man. That'd be dope. Next week I'm gonna try to get Crossroads Sports on here so we could talk a little college basketball. See who we should be looking at in the brackets, these conference championship tournaments, all that good stuff that's going on right now.
Hey,
Uh,
women. Hey, one thing too, man. Women's
Go ahead.
basketball, man, is
It's
I
turning
am,
up, boy.
bruh. Them girls, they be really want. So I'm excited to see South Carolina, LSU again, and in the
Hey,
tournament.
they were them there bumping.
Hey,
Boy,
I ain't gonna lie, man. The women's college basketball
yeah,
is probably they'll probably have more viewers
yeah,
this year than the
I
men's.
agree. I agree.
And
I
The,
agree.
I just think about the future and like what that gonna translate into the WNBA, man.
Hmm.
Like, hopefully, it pushes that brand up some more and brings some more eyes to that. Especially with, I mean, Caitlin Clark coming out this year, that's gonna be on the Fever. Possibly,
And I
she
just
will
think
be
it's
on the
just
she
Fever,
will be.
it's just more passion in it now, man, than it was before.
man.
These girls can hoop, bro. So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah,
And they spreading the floor. They shooting more. They better shooters. Like, I mean, now they like than what it was back in the day. Of course, when the league first started in what 2000 and
Nah,
2000, I think
nah,
2001, something
nah, I
like
want to
that.
say it started like late 90s. I want to say like
no, it was
maybe
97.
97, 90. Yeah,
Was it
97.
nice?
97,
Okay,
90. Yeah.
97.
so like started then, like with the game changing. I think they starting to catch up with the play style of the men. A lot of running gun, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's definitely exciting. So
Very exciting.
definitely looking forward to that. Tried to get a ticket to the Fever game, and I've seen those Caitlin Clark prices.
Nah.
Had to
Hey,
dial back.
yesterday's prices is not today's
Today's
price.
price. I was like,
Uh,
for her first game against, I think it's the New York Liberty, bro.
That game is
Like
gonna be on
to
ABC.
sit courtside was like 1,500.
Damn.
Yeah,
Lower level courtside 1,500. I was looking at club level. That's usually where I sit. Is like in the hundreds. 500. I was like, gosh, I can't do that. Granted, I would love to. I just can't do it.
them
It's
tickets this
hard.
year. Them tickets this year, boys. NBA. Them
Yeah,
NBA
and
tickets
it's
is
probably gonna be that way the whole year. Like
Is
you,
Fever still
yeah,
playing? Is they still playing Banker's Life, or
yeah, they still play. Yep,
yeah.
I thought they had moved?
they're
Nah,
about to because they're building a new. I think they're supposed to be building a new facility in Fishers, and they're supposed to be moving out there or Noblesville, I think.
I
But
have I haven't heard that, but they had moved while the Banker's Life or whatever it's
they
called
was
now.
getting renovated. Gamebridge.
So no, I
Oh,
think they
okay.
back in there for good.
Oh, definitely now with the
Yeah,
prices they can charge. Well, they can charge Pacer prices for the Fever over the summer.
yeah,
Definitely there.
they definitely not moving nowhere.
And
Not
let
not
Clay don't let Clark win like rookie of the year or something. Or, what I mean? We already got Boston too. Let
that's
them
what I'm
go
saying.
crazy.
It's about to be honestly, man. This summer fall is about to be crazy in Indianapolis
I agree. I agree 1,000,000
with the
percent.
with the Fever, and then you got the Colts coming back up, and then you turning around, and you having the Pacers coming back. I mean, it's gonna be quite a time. I ain't seen. You
A
probably
time like this in the city for a while.
man, you probably ain't ever seen this type of
Buzz.
buzz like since maybe the
Peyton
early
and
two
Tamika
thousands.
Catchings.
No, I'll say the early 2000s when the Colts was nice, and then the Pacers went to the finals, and then they had them good teams before Malice at the Palace. You know that there was some good times. You know, Pacers was good, Colts was good, good times, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, man. Well, if that's it, man. This has been the Epic Podcast, man. We see y'all again next week, man.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
bye.
Okay.
7-9.